In this episode, I describe the emotional benefits of building your life around infinite banking. In particular, the 4 ways that practicing IBC can bring peace to your financial life. I'm Nate. I make sense out of money. This is Dollars and Nonsense. If you follow the herd, you will be slaughtered. There's a common phrase in the world of business and selling and life in general that people make decisions emotionally, not logically. Oftentimes, by the way, this gets a bad rap because you'll listen to people and say, you really, when you make a decision emotionally, maybe it's an irrational decision and you shouldn't even be making it at all. So people are trying to make decisions. They understand this. They understand, okay, I tend to make decisions emotionally. When I let my emotions get involved, maybe it's going to be a bad decision and I might make some sort of irrational or rash decision in some way that's going to end up costing me. So I want to try to set aside my emotions and just think rationally, logically about something. And so people would think that logical decisions produce more value than emotional decisions. And there is some truth to this for sure. However, I think it's more nuanced than this. A lot of people, whenever they're going to get confronted with infinite banking or real estate investing or stock market investing or retirement programs, or there's all these different avenues to put money to work, oil and gas, tax strategies, there's all these things that you could put your attention, time, and money into. And people are like, I shouldn't be making a rash decision here. This is very important stuff. I got to think logically. The problem with thinking logically is that at the end of the day, there is not an objectively true financial strategy that is best for everyone. That just doesn't exist. So because it doesn't exist, there is a limit to how far thinking logically about things go. Rational decisions. You can't find the best decision for you thinking only logically, because logically speaking, you could go on many different paths and do well. And it's impossible to know which path is going to be the best. So the key is making rational decisions that also make you feel good emotionally. This is what I'm going to end up talking about today when I describe the peace that I think infinite banking can bring to people's lives. You shouldn't just do something because it makes you feel good. If the decision is rational and makes you feel good, then now you're having a perfect marriage that, hey, this makes sense logically and is going to help me achieve my goals logically, while also it makes me feel. And the reason why I bring this up is because, there's some things financially that are technically a quote unquote good idea. That might be a good opportunity, but it stresses me out. And so I'm like, well, this might be a good opportunity, but it doesn't make me feel good. And I'm not saying you should always avoid everything that produces stress or anxiety in your mindset. Maybe you're the one who's messed up. But what I'm saying is there is a huge amount of financial strategies that are logical, that are rational, that can actually help you achieve your goals and can make you feel good at the same time. And you should choose between those strategies. You don't want to choose a strategy that is, this is an awesome opportunity to make this investment, but I don't know if I can stomach that. I don't know, it's a risky thing. It could be amazing, or I could lose all my money, and I just don't trust it. I'm not going to sleep well. I'm going to be uneasy about it. If that's the case, then maybe you should go find something that makes sense, that generates a lot of value, and can help you produce wealth and achieve goals while also makes you feel good. So that's what I want to talk about today with what I call the peace of IBC. Not only do I believe, of course, and you guys can go take my course online, livingwealth.com has a free beginner's course, or you can go listen to all these episodes of podcasts or whatever it is, and understand that infinite banking makes a lot of logical and rational sense for a lot of people to achieve a lot of things. Maybe it's not for everybody, but it's for a lot of people to achieve a lot of things they're trying to do. But under all of that is this idea that I firmly believe that whenever you really get into IBC and you start building your life around it, your ability to feel safer, more secure, on a solid foundation, a steady, solid rock, it can bring peace into your life in a way that a lot of financial strategies maybe don't. I guess there's always a worry about, the dollar collapsing or, huge, World War III nuclear weapons going off. Of course, there's these mega, wars, but you don't really have to worry about a stock market crash, real estate bubble crashing, borrowing money to finance real estate and then having the real estate bubble crash and you owing all this money and having to file bankruptcy. There are ways to build wealth that are great, that may just not be for everybody, because deep down, it makes you feel stressed, where it doesn't make somebody else feel stressed. So here's what I wanted to talk about today. There's 4 main ways, that I think practicing IBC helps you feel more secure, be at peace. When you first get started, it's not gonna be that case. But once you've built your life like I have, I'm 11 years into this. I started in 2012. 11 years in, I feel great about my financial picture. and about how steady it is and how secure it is on a big piece of my entire wealth. Is I'm feeling great. And it's the emotional benefit of being an IBC that allows me to sleep at night, that I know for a fact, I know myself, I hate losing money. Not everyone does. I know a lot of entrepreneurs who are huge risk takers who love to take risk and they don't care about losing money. Losing money is a lesson learned. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. I can buy into it a little bit, but I hate losing money. I feel good when I know I can't lose money. And that's why IBC produces so much peace. So I'm going to go into the four different ways I think IBC can help. Number one, IBC can help you increase your confidence, especially in like broader economic downturns. So one thing I've noticed, especially back when we had the COVID downturn and everyone was running for the hills, then it turned out to be just a short blip of a recession. And then even in all of, the Federal Reserve interest rate climbing, stock markets had a rough time, as the interest rates climbs recently, and the recession's on the horizon. And you just hear people worried about, especially when they built their life around stock market, real estate, it's having a hard time right now. There's some worries, there's some fears, there's some stress, there's some anxiety out there because of just broader economic issues that are occurring. And I get to sit here and I've just noticed, man, I feel great. I'm not worried about any of those things. I have a completely non-correlated, asset. These policies are not correlated to some sort of market-based returns and some sort of, market-based valuation system. So I'm able to sit here and know that I'm going to get wealthier and wealthier, whether it's a boom time or a bust time. And I don't have any of the same fears overall as everyone else does for the most part, because I have this buffer. I have these policies that aren't going to be hit. So the first thing I think it can do is it can just produce a peace and a security and a confidence in broader economic turmoil. Not necessarily personal economic turmoil. We'll get to that, but just broader economic turmoil where you can just wake up and be like, hey, my cash value is growing every single day. The next thing that I think emotionally just helps really push it forward and drive some benefit is the idea that my family legacy is completely intact from the day that I got started with my first policy, and then have built on it from there. Like, this is something that, of course, the death benefit of policies, which we don't talk much about because it is kind of on the back burner for most of us practicing IBC. We got into it because we wanted to become our own banker. The death benefit was thrown in for good measure. We want to become our own banker and build cash value, and we happen to get a death benefit. But now that I have it, I don't want to give it up. I love it. I mean, I think my death benefit is, $8 million or something like that right now. My wife's got, $4 or $5 million of death benefit. My kids are all over $1 million of death benefit in all the policies I own on all the family members. And I'm sitting here thinking like, man, my family legacy, whether I live until I'm age 90 or whether I pass away in the next 5 years, in either instance, my family's financial future has been built right now. All other strategies, of course, as time goes on, you'll build wealth as you save and invest. But none of it was like build like, hey, if I die today, it's already done. If I die later on, it's going to be even bigger. So of course, if I continue to live, that 8 million is going to, through paid up additional rate of premiums and dividends, the death benefit is going to grow into the future. So it's going to be 20 million by the time I'm 85. If I make it there, probably more than that at the end of the day. But nonetheless, like right now, I can feel good about knowing my family's taken care of. I didn't set out to buy $8 million of life insurance. The only reason it's such a high figure is because I'm paying such large premiums, to practice IBC, because that's what I'm after. But the death benefit comes in and allows me to build this family legacy from day one that can't be taken from us. It's set in stone. And it's only going to get bigger as I put more and more money into the system. So the first one was confidence in economic times overall. And the second one is the comfort that I have from knowing that my family is very well taken care of, and the financial future that I wanted to build, the generational wealth that I wanted to build, is already ours, whether or not I'm here to continue it and earning high income or whether I'm not. The third thing that it just produces more confidence in me is that even if there are no opportunities out there right now for me at any given moment in time to put money to work, to earn a great rate of return in different investment opportunities, even if there are very few opportunities I want to take advantage of at any given moment in time, I know that money will be there for investments whenever I need it. And this is kind of a unique thing, and I've actually talked about that in an episode recently when I said, what is IBC really all about? The idea that for most people, banking sucks. Leaving money in bank accounts it like burns a hole in our pocket. Like we feel bad about it. We want our money to be doing something for us and helping us achieve future goals. So the only real route for most people before IBC comes along is to take money out of banking and invest it and take on some sort of risk. And whether they even really like what they're investing or not, they just feel like it's better than the bank. And that's one of the things I've noticed change for a lot of clients. And especially in my own life, I've noticed this tremendously, that I don't have to feel bad when I have money in my policies because it's earning a great return, tax-free with no risk in there. I don't have to have it be burning a hole in my pocket, desperate to go put it to work. I can be choosy with the investments I want to be a part of. I typically have said in the past that I like the idea of what's called barbell investing, where you have a whole bunch of money on one side of the barbell and you have a whole bunch of money on the other side of the barbell, and you kind of stay out of the middle. And really what that means is on one side, you have very safe, conservative, growing pot of money, which I think is the best thing on the planet in order to fill that bucket on that side of the barbell is high cash value, dividend paying whole life policies issued by mutual companies. I just think that fits the bill so perfectly. And then you leverage that money to take advantage of the opportunities that you're searching out, opportunities that present more of a life-changing result, where, the goal being that they're kind of weighed in your favor, where you can kind of negotiate a deal or start a business or get involved in some sort of financial thing that is what's called a barbell investment, where, the risk of loss is lower than it would tend to be, or at least less volatile. And the opportunity for gains can be life-changing if things work out well. And it's called investing on the barbell. I don't have time to go into all the details on that, but I'm just merely saying that's kind of how I live my life. And I don't have to feel guilty to have money that's in the safe side. Because unlike a bank account that was paying 0%, I know bank accounts are paying some interest now, but for the last 15 years, they really haven't been. And so instead of just feeling like money's burning a hole in your pocket, no, it's compounding. It's going to be compounding every year, no matter what. I don't have to feel bad about that. I can feel good. So even if there's no investment opportunities I want to take advantage of right now with this money, I can feel good. It is working for me all the time. I don't have to stretch and feel desperate to go to achieve something with money necessarily. I can be patient and wait for the opportunities to come.
Are you tired of feeling like everyone has their hand in your pocket? At Living Wealth, we believe in challenging the status quo. After all, most of those conventional tools only seem to make someone else rich. Let us show you how to take back control by banking on yourself. Visit livingwealth.com/escapethebank. You'll receive instant access to what we call the beginner's course. This free, in-depth, easy-to-follow course teaches people how to create and profit from infinite banking. We not only discuss the philosophy and principles behind infinite banking, but also offer real-life examples to demonstrate how it works. Even folks experienced with infinite banking often tell us they learned a ton too. So, it's worthwhile regardless of your experience level. Stop letting banks and Wall Street dictate your financial future. Again, that's livingwealth.com/escapethebank to gain access to the free course today. Now back to Nate and Holly.
And the last thing I wanted to bring up, the fourth one, is that having a strong base of savings and liquidity in these policies allows me to just come at the world more confidently and not have to worry so much about what I would call like a personal financial crisis. So we already talked about at the very beginning that an overall economic crisis going on in the United States, let's say, whether it's a recession or World War III or whatever it is, may cause a lot of anxiety about what's going to happen to your money. Whereas with policies, they've weathered the storm. They've weathered every storm ever thrown at them. World War I, World War II, the Great Depression, the Great Recession. I mean, they've been here weathering storms since the early 1800s, which is amazing. It's amazing. Now, is it bulletproof? Probably not. No, it's not. I mean, it could fail, but it's one of the most sure things that you could ever find. And it's proven that it is. So what I'm trying to bring up is economically on a grand scale, it allows us to just feel at peace. We don't have to worry about the things that other people have to worry about, which is a value, by the way. There's a value to having a stress-free life, which is why I brought up at the very beginning that not everything is a rate of return question. Not everything is a objective, logical thing to do with money. Sometimes there's a whole bunch of logical things you could do that would all be good, and you can't really judge which one's better. So you choose the one that makes you feel the best about the prospects in the future. This one's a bit more nuanced than that at the end of the day, what if my business fails? What if I'm out here doing these podcast episodes and nobody wants to come buy policies from us again? For whatever reason, they say, I hate this guy. Nate sucks. At the end of the day, knowing that you have a big reservoir of money that can easily be tapped to weather storms allows you to become more powerful, allows you to be more confident. If you're what's called asset rich and cash poor, where you may have some assets, but they're kind of locked up, then at any moment in crisis, you have to go sell your stuff. And maybe at a loss, maybe not. Who knows? It depends on the environment at the time. This is the idea, by the way, of personal bad times, you could say, is that they often will coincide with, a personal financial crisis can often coincide with a grand financial crisis. The first thing that will happen in a recession oftentimes is that business starts to dry up. So whether you're a business owner, whether you're an employee, risk for your income starts to skyrocket during recessions. Risk for all of our income. So that's oftentimes where you might have a financial crisis occurs during a recession. Like back in 2008, 2009, there's tons of people who had financial crises across the board. And so they lost their job in a recession. The business starts to dry up. So people are fired, or even if you're a small business starts to dry up. Other people are losing jobs and they're not shopping at your store anymore. And they're not buying stuff from you. So you end up losing your business. And so this idea of the economic crisis can create personal crises. And the issue that while business is drying up and income has your risk of losing income starts to increase during recession, at the same time, during recessions, a lot of times the value of market-based assets goes down. So that's what I'm trying to bring up. Like in most people, maybe they have some, it's essentially a perfect storm. And we don't have to deal with that as nearly as much whenever you're practicing IBC, because you have a non-correlated asset that is not going to go down in value during a recession. But like a stock market-based or a real estate-based assets, you essentially find a perfect storm where, hey, my ability to earn income may be going down right now, and my assets are losing value. And to survive, I have to sell some of those assets to make income, to make ends meet, because I don't have as much income as I once did, or maybe I lost my job or lost my business, but I'm having to sell it at a loss. And you start feeling all this pressure where you could have solved that by just practicing IBC. Now, of course, you may own some things. You may have some investment that lose some value. But if all of your money's over there and very little is inside of the safe, secure bucket that we have here with practicing infinite banking and owning life insurance policies, you'll be hit on all sides. So essentially, having this strong base of savings and liquidity while also investing, but having this base that, especially for me personally, that I have, allows me to come at the world more confidently. I don't have to have that same stress or that same worry or that same anxiety that I might have if I had built my life differently. So with all this being said, those are the four main ways that I've noticed financial peace start to build up in my own life. And I'm very aware, especially with my risk-averse self. I don't love taking risks, especially unnecessary risks or unknown risks. I like to do sure things for the most part. They make me feel good. Because of that, IBC is a perfect fit for what I want. It allows me to come powerfully and strong into different situations and have more confidence and be at peace more often than other things could. So is it possible that the stock market may do a better rate of return than a policy? Once again, we're not even really talking about that, by the way, in the grand scheme of things. Go back to listen to all these episodes to see why that's kind of a nonsensical thing to be concerned about. All I'm trying to say is that if you go a little bit deeper, you'll understand that there are multiple psychological, emotional benefits to doing two rational things. Both of them can be rational. Both of them can be profitable for you. Both of them can be logical, where we don't know the end game. We don't know which one's going to end up producing more money per se, but we know both will produce value, hopefully over time, then choosing an option that is both rational and emotionally uplifting is certainly the best decisions you can ever make. Anytime you can make a decision that is well thought through, it's a very rational decision, and it's emotionally uplifting, then you have a great decision ahead of you. And that's really what I feel about IBC. It's been not only rational for me based on how I want to live my life and the investments I want to take part in to build capital and policies and deploy them in these various things. Not only is it a rational thing, I can argue it, I can see it with numbers, data can prove that it's a very valuable tool for the future. It also, I've noticed, has been emotionally uplifting for me. And I hope it can do the same for you. If you've been enjoying this content, if you find this valuable, it would mean the world to us at Living Wealth and Dollars and Nonsense. If you would like, wherever it is you're consuming it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, rate us or review us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a comment, let us know you're watching it, let us know you're enjoying it. Ask some questions, by the way, on the comment section on our YouTube page. I'm happy to use those as feedback to do new episodes answering some of these questions that the public has. Once again, this has been Dollars and Nonsense. If you follow the herd, you will be slaughtered. For free transcripts and resources, please visit livingwealth.com/E214.
Listener, one last thing before you go. Start your journey towards financial security and wealth today. Visit livingwealth.com/escape the bank. Upon completing this course, you'll have all the information that you'll need to see if infinite banking is right for you. Again, go to livingwealth.com/escape the bank.